Stephen Miller, a.k.a. Lurch, from the Addams Family. There he is, exact duplicate. I mean, the guy looks exactly like him. Lurch from the 1960s sitcom Addams Family. Stephen Miller now, 2020.
Yeah, the original one.
The original Lurch. Yeah, that's probably what he wakes. That's what he looks like when he wakes up every morning. The Southern Poverty Law Center has now tagged Stephen Miller, who is the key White House aide to Donald Trump, as an extremist. The organization wrote in its entry for Miller that Donald Trump's aide is credited with shaping the racist and draconian immigration policies of President Trump. It credits Miller with orchestrating the administration's hard-line immigration positions, such as the zero-tolerance policy that has led to family separations at the border, the Muslim ban, and the decision to halt green cards during the coronavirus pandemic, halting it immigrant visa processing from abroad. It also blamed Miller for speeches made by Trump that were interpreted as dog whistles for racists and got racists and people who are part of the Ku Klux Klan and other right-wing extremist racist groups excited that Donald Trump is secretly talking to them, and maybe he very well may be. The Southern Poverty Law Center said, through the conscious use of fear-mongering and xenophobia, Miller implements policies which demonize immigrants regardless of their immigration status in an apparent effort to halt all forms of immigration to the United States. What is pretty sad about it all is that Miller's family escaped persecution themselves. They escaped anti-Jewish persecution in Belarus in the early 1900s. And here he is 3 generations later and doesn't learn a goddamn thing. Which really, what it really shows is, and I'm Jewish, you know, I always like to think Jewish people are always good people. But what it comes down to is this. There's good and bad everywhere. There's good black people, There's bad black people. There's good Dominicans, there's bad Dominicans. There's good Jewish people and bad Jewish people. And that's what the life is. You can't stereotype anybody.
There's just good people and there's bad.
Exactly.
Period.
Right. But the stereotyping of people, I can't take it anymore. The stereotyping of people that this group is good, this group is bad. And by the way, it happens with everybody right now. Okay? Which is really making me sick as an American and as a human being. It's making me sick. And it's not just, and by the way, okay, when you're voting Republican now, you're basically voting for racist white men. Okay, that's basically what the Republican Party has turned into, the racist white man political party. But, you know, on the left, it gets bad too. It gets very bad too. Okay, there's a lot of people on the left who are stereotyping people and putting groups of people and saying this group of people is good, this group of people is bad. It's happening from both sides, unfortunately, and it's making me a little sick to watch the news every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then to think also, I mean, being a part, having that history within your own family, you would think that you would be an advocate for experiencing, you know, hearing your family's experience and probably hoping, being in the position that you're in, to how you can maybe move forward from this and revolutionize, you know what I mean? But hey, everyone digest their family learnings the way they will.
I think what it is it's just so far removed from him because it's the 3rd generation, not justifying it at all, but I'm putting myself in that situation because I know what my parents went through in order to come to the United States. The fact that they were refugees, they had to flee from their country just because they were taking kids from school and throwing them into the army. I saw what they had to go through, and it's like it's all up to me to try and prove to them and make them proud and just, you know, I just want to pay them back. Like, that's literally all I want to do. So the fact that he doesn't even see that, it's crazy to me, but I think it's just because he didn't see it. He didn't see it happen. Right. He just knows that that's his history, which is sick.
Yeah, sick. I actually disagree with you because I look at myself. I'm either 4th or 5th generation here. My grandparents, all 4 of my grandparents were born in the United States, so I'm at least 4th generation. We don't know what happened. I don't know when my family came here because nobody knew my great-grandparents. So As far as I know, whatever happened before grandparents, we have no idea. Okay, because all the great-grandparents were dead when my parents were born. So my parents have no idea, you know, where we came from. So maybe I'm 4th generation or 5th generation, whatever it is I am here. I'm not like that.
You're right. You're right.
I'm not like that.
Yeah.
So you can't just say because you're 3rd or 4th generation, it's so far removed. I think it's a little different.
What is it?
I think people have lost empathy and sympathy and understanding of humanity. And I'm going to give you a perfect example of it. Katie Miller, who's Stephen Miller's wife. Okay, there was a book that just came out, and the book is called Separated, and it's a new book that came out on Tuesday by NBC News reporter Jacob Sabaroff, and he chronicles the Trump administration's immigration policies, specifically the zero-tolerance family separation policies at the border. Now, under this family separation policy, for the few people who don't know, from 2017 to 2019, thousands of children of migrants were separated from their parents at the U.S.-Mexico border and placed in unsanitary detention facilities. They took children from parents as young babies, 3, 4, 5 years old, mostly Hispanic, mostly brown-skinned children, separated them from their parents as a way to punish the parents for trying to flee persecution. And then maybe word would get back on the street from the towns and cities and countries where they came from. Don't try to come to America because we're going to separate you from your families. And Katie Miller, who married Lurch, a.k.a. Stephen Miller, a.k.a. there they are, the happy Aryan couple, she went to the border, according to this book, to gain some sympathy for the people that were being separated. What this reporter wrote in the book about Katie Miller, the woman who was married to Stephen Miller, he wrote, "It didn't work. I will never forget what I saw, seriously. Are you a white nationalist?" I asked an exasperated Katie Miller. Katie Miller responded, "No, but I believe if you come to America, you should assimilate. Why do we need to have little Havana?" Basically, Katie Miller had no compassion for any of these children. Separated. So I think it has nothing to do with generation after generation of being here and you forget, Yo-Yo. I think it has to do with just the way some people are raised by their families.
That's where I was going to ask next. Yep.
Okay.
It's like any other with our own conversations, right? So with our own movements, Yo-Yo, we're so conscious now of like Black Lives Matter, and we're not even going to go too in depth in there, but we all conclude that it stems back to the lessons learned at home, and that goes with anything that you stand for. It all starts in your home. So even with those generational, right? Because we said we're not going to justify him with that, but there should be things that your parents, there's just the way you treat people, there's just ethics, there's just morals, there's just empathy, there's just value, and that's learned in the home, no matter what 7th generation you may be, you know? It all stems back to the home. How you treat people stems back in
That is very true.
Home.
It's how you're raised, what's made to be important to you, whether humanity is important to you, whether human life is important to you. Thanks for watching. For more Bradshaw Live, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.